Hello and welcome to the prediction show with myself, Ian.
Hi, Mike.
We have Mike. We don't have Phil tonight, but in his place we have put his club logo.
His beloved.
Because he's wandered off. We haven't gone as far as giving him a points deduction, which I'm pretty sure a couple of episodes we did say if he didn't turn up, then that's, or if he was late, that's what he was going to do. And as you can see, he's still not here, so he's lucky.
I think we can make allowances being his birthday.
No excuse. No excuses. We've got 4 games this week, Mike.
We have.
We've got Manchester City and Arsenal, Brighton Arsenal, West Ham Wolves, and Everton Liverpool.
Yep.
So we've got 3 big games and Everton Liverpool.
Yeah.
Shall we crack on with the first one?
Yes.
Man City coming off a 2-0 loss against their rivals Manchester United, and they host yourselves.
Yes.
What do you think? Then got Brighton, not Bournemouth. We'll get that clear. Brighton, who come from 3-1 down to draw 3-3 with West Ham. What do you think that scoreline is going to be? Because they're hosting yourselves.
Yes. Our away form this season has been much improved, especially under Mikel Arteta. I think we're going to have too much for them this weekend. I'm actually really looking forward to this game. I think for me, the Man City game is going to be a bit of a dead rubber game for us, because my head is going with, my heart is going with the draw, but I think we're going to get tonked as well. But just going back to the Brighton game, I think this is where we will bounce back. Obviously, we are still pushing now for the Champions League places. It's not that much of a gap now between us and Chelsea, other than the result yesterday, and depending on how we get on. But I'm going to go for an Arsenal 3-1 win. So Brighton 1, Arsenal 3.
Fair enough. I've gone with Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. Now, as you said, I think you might pull out a draw against Manchester City, but if you do get conked for 3 or 4 goals, it could bring into question some of the mentalities of the Arsenal players, which would be quite interesting to see, because you've not had that sort of a loss since Arteta's come in.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how you bounce back with that, with a very small gap in between games. I mean, Brighton are resilient this year. They've scored more goals this year, and you've got big Glenn Murray to worry about. You know, he knows where the goal is. Will he bully one of the players? Will David Luiz jump in with a silly tackle? Will he even play? Who knows? But 2-1 Brighton for me.
Okay. And Philip went for a 0-2.
Fair enough.
So Brighton 0, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, okay. West Ham Wolves. West Ham are a very odd team at the minute. Wolves are a second half team. It's at the London Stadium. I feel like we've had an upturn in form, and we will go out and dominate the first half. I think that will probably end up at a 2-1 with a last minute Wolves goal. And then the second half will also end up 2-1, but the other way around. So I've gone overall 3-3 just because Wolves are that second half team, and I don't know if we've got enough about us to cope with that second half push that they always come out with.
That's fair enough.
Go on, what do you think?
See, again, this is a difficult one for me, because I need Wolves to lose, but I don't think they will. I'll be really happy if they do, because it, again, helps us depending on the results that we get. But it's going to be a tough one, I think, for you guys. I thought you were unlucky at the weekend against us. There was a couple of chances I thought you could have nicked it. But I don't know. I think Wolves are going to have too much about them. As you said, they are second half kings at the moment. I'm going to go for a 1-3.
Fair enough. And Phil, what's Phil gone with?
Phil's actually gone in favour of the Mighty Hammers. He's gone for a 2-1 win to West Ham.
Fair enough. I think he's on drugs, but it's his birthday. So he's allowed to be.
He could well be, yeah.
And then we move up to the mighty Everton, mighty Blues, who host Liverpool.
Yep.
What do you reckon on that one?
Well, the Invincibles record's already gone. We know that.
Yep.
Liverpool, I thought, were bloody lucky at the weekend against who they play. Bournemouth, not Brighton. Everton have had a bit of dip in form recently, but is this the game that they could spoil Liverpool's season further? Liverpool need 3 wins now, again, depending on the result against us, Man City against us. It could be 2 wins after Wednesday, but could Everton spoil the party? I hope so. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, just on the basis that Liverpool have been a bit ropey recently. They've got the Champions League game this week as well. In fact, I think it's going to be a tough one to call, because if Liverpool go out of the Champions League, I think they're going to want to finish the season on a massive high and try and go unbeaten for the rest of the games. But like I said, we've seen it over the last couple of games. They have looked very vulnerable. I'm going to go for 2-2.
Fair enough. I've gone the same, but a 1-1 draw. Everton against Chelsea were poor. That means Chelsea were played well, but they were made to look like it was a masterclass, where in fact it was just Everton were so poor. I think Ancelotti will be putting a rod up a few arses to make sure there's some performances in there, some effort put in. I think it's a sort of game where they're going to be hyped up for it anyway. It's at Goodison. As we said, it all felt small there, but everything was very, very close to the pitch. So that's going to be a horrible place for Liverpool to go. They play their Champions League game before the Everton game, don't they?
Yes.
And I feel like Atletico are going to knock them out. So they've had a hard run of games. They're going to be out of the Champions League. There's not really anything to play for anymore, because they're not in the Carabao Cup. Well, they weren't in the Carabao Cup. They're not in the FA Cup. Or are they in the FA Cup?
No,
not in the FA Cup.
No, they got knocked out by Chelsea last week.
Yes, of course they did. And they're pretty much sure on for winning the Premier League. So I think a lot of those players are going to go on holiday. I don't think Everton will have enough. I think they will nick a last-minute goal, but I've gone 1-0. And Phil's gone 2-1 Everton. I've got there.
He went. Yes, yeah, it was 2-1 Everton. Well, he's got to support his Blues, isn't he?
Hang on, Phil, can you say something if you don't want Everton to win?
Very conclusive.
Silence. Go on, what's he gone for?
He went for 2-1 Liverpool. Again, it's for what I think he's just kind of playing it a little bit cautious now with how he's seen them perform over the last couple of weeks. It's a derby game. We all know that form goes out the window for derby games. Yep. He said he has noticed the vulnerability at the back. Thinks they will concede, but at the end of it, they'll have too much for him. So he's gone for a 2-1 win.
Fair enough. If you haven't already, we are above on Twitter. Give us a follow. Let us know what you think. Press like.
Pass around your mates.
Yeah. Press like and subscribe. You'll be able to see more videos. And if you haven't already, go back and watch the podcast that came out a couple of days ago. I've been Ian.
I've been Mike.
And Phil's not here, so that's us.
He's been useless.
Yes.
See you later, guys.